Hello everyone, welcome back! In today's video, I'm going to be doing another language comparison, although this time it won't be Yiddish. Instead, I'll be comparing the 5 main languages spoken in the Nordic countries. To be more specific, Norwegian, Swedish, Danish, Icelandic, and Finnish. First, we'll be taking a quick look at the formation of the languages, and then compare the grammar and vocabulary. Lastly, I'll be reading full sentences in each of these languages so you can hear the difference. Spoiler alert, there's a black sheep among the flock. Let's dive right into it. It's time to compare the 5 main Nordic languages. Here we go! A quick history on the formation of the languages. Norwegian, Swedish, Icelandic, and Danish are all derived from Old Norse, a North Germanic language spoken by the Vikings across Scandinavia. Between the 14th and 16th century CE, they each broke off, one by one, morphing into their own language. They have similar words, similar conjugations, and can understand each other more or less. Icelandic being the less. You'll understand why later on. Finnish is a Uralic language related to Estonian, Hungarian, and Sami. This language family began forming 3,000 to 5,000 years ago. It's hard to trace back exactly when Finnish became its own language, but written records go back to the 16th century. Back in the day, all 4 North Germanic languages, Norwegian, Icelandic, Danish, and Swedish, used 4 grammatical cases: nominative, genitive, accusative, and dative. Nowadays, only one of them obtained the use of all 4, Icelandic. Norwegian abolished all except for nominative and genitive, as well as Danish. Swedish technically has all 4 cases, although it has diminished in everyday use, and only genitive and nominative are actually used. The others have been replaced by prepositions. Like all Uralic languages, Finnish has an astronomical amount of cases in use today, all the way still from its formation. Modern Finnish has 15 cases: nominative, genitive, partitive, accusative, inessive, illative, elative, ablative, adessive, allative, essive, translative, abessive, instructive, and commutative. These are used to express the direct subject and object of the sentence, placement in something, on something, into something, onto something, from in some place, onto some place, change from one state to another, something as something else, with something, without something. Now when it comes to grammatical gender, the Germanic languages are not lacking. Norwegian and Icelandic have 3 genders: masculine, feminine, and neuter. Danish and Swedish have 2 genders, with common gender and neuter. In all these languages, the neuter word for one or a is basically the same, et, eight, and the letter t is used when making the neuter noun definite. Here's what I mean. Et hus, a house, becomes huset, the house. All except for Icelandic, which uses the letter ed. Eitt hus, husið. Norwegian uses I for feminine, which is non-existent in Swedish and Danish. And it uses n for masculine, which is the same as the common gender in Swedish and Danish. Like et being matched with the letter t to make nouns definite, the letter n is matched with n. Et barn, a child, or in Danish, et børn. Barnet, børnet. En man, en med. Mannen, meten. There's nothing to say on the matter in Finnish, as there are no grammatical genders in Finnish. Let's take a look at word order. Like in English, all of these languages use the subject, verb, object order in a sentence. Icelandic and Norwegian have a slight difference in word order though when it comes to possessive. To show possession in these North Germanic languages, one must say the definite form of the object being possessed, followed by the word for mine, yours, theirs, etc. For example, we've got the word barn, meaning child in Norwegian. To turn it into the child, the definite form, as I've showed you before, you would say barnet, followed by the word for my, mitt. Barna, mitt, my child. The same concept is used in Icelandic. Child, barn, the child, barnið, my child, barnið, mitt. In Swedish and Danish, it's just like in English. Mitt barn, mitt barn. While we're on the subject of possessive, I'll throw in the rules of possessive in Finnish as well. There are two ways of going about it. One is to say it like in English. Minun lapsi, my child. Minun meaning my, lapsi meaning child. In spoken Finnish that would be mun lapsi, to save some spit. The second way to do this is to add the possessive suffix ni. Lapsi, child, lapseni, my child. Hebrew speakers might recognize this concept as it's used in Hebrew as well. In fact, Hebrew speakers will recognize the previous definite noun plus possessive determiner as well, as that is the alternative in Hebrew. But now I'm off on a tangent. Let's get back to the subject of today, the Nordic languages. Let's begin to compare some basic words. First off, how does one count from 1 to 10 in the 5 main Nordic languages? Norwegian, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 7, 8, 9, 10. Swedish, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Danish, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Icelandic, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Finnish, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes and no. Norwegian, ja, nej. Swedish, ja, nej. Danish, ja, nej. Icelandic, ja, nej. Finnish, kyllä, ei. Food and drink, bread. Norwegian, bröd. Swedish, bröd. Danish, bröd. Icelandic, bröd. Finnish, leipä. Apple. Norwegian, äpple. Swedish, äpple. Danish, ib. Icelandic, äppli. Finnish, omena. Water. Norwegian, van. Swedish, vatten. Danish, vin. Icelandic, vatten. Finnish, vesi. What about some things in nature? Forest. Norwegian, skog. Swedish, skog. Danish, skog. Icelandic, skogur. Finnish, metsä. As you can see, the Germanic languages have a similar sound for most of these words. In fact, some of them may even look familiar to speakers from other Germanic languages, such as German, Dutch, or Afrikaans. As expected, the Finnish words are a completely different story. I'd say this is one of the elements that makes Finnish so hard to learn for English speakers. You have to relearn every word from scratch. Germanic languages have many similar words to each other and therefore are easier for an English speaker to learn, as it is a Germanic language as well. It's time to look at full sentences to compare in these languages. What differences can you see? I am eating a sandwich. Jeg spiser en smørbrød. Jeg spiser en sandwich. Jeg äter en smörgås. Jeg borðar samloku. Mina sun voileivan. I am going to the store. Jeg går til butikken. Jeg går til butikken. Jeg åker til affären. Jeg fer i bodina. Mina menan kauppaan. This family has a father, a mother, a son, and a daughter. Denne familien har en far, mor, søn og en datter. Din familie har en far, mor, søn og datter. Denne familie har en far, mor, son och en dotter. Þessi fjölskylda á föður, móður, son och dotter. Tässä perheessä on isä, äiti, poika ja tytär. That's it for today! Did you learn something new about the Nordic languages? Did the grammar or sound of any of these languages surprise you? Which languages would you like to see compared next? I'd love to hear from you all in the comments. Tack för idag, lite och tjus and auf Wiedersehen!